alcohol ban. Federal government seeks private sector support to close Nigeria's broadband gap. NIMC to begin nationwide world-level NIN enrollment February 16th. NAPTIP rescues 23 Nigerians from cyber scam network in Thailand. And away from Africa, Trump denies seeing racist clip in video shared on social media. In health, who wants most Africans with cataract blindness remain untreated. And in business, Nigeria targets 2026 for new round of public asset sales. In sport, NFF confirms CHELLE staying on as Super Eagles coach. And now the news in full. The Raw Materials Research and Development Council, RMRDC, marks its 38th anniversary yesterday, highlighting nearly 4 decades of research, innovation and value addition in Nigeria's raw materials sector. Speaking at the anniversary event, the Director General and Chief Executive Officer, Professor Nayelugu Ikemonso, said Nigeria has reduced spending on imported raw materials from about $10.5 billion annually to $3.5 billion. He announced progress on a proposed 30% value addition bill described as a protectionist policy aimed at prioritizing local production under the Renewed Hope agenda. Professor Ikemonso said the Council is strengthening systems to support industrial growth, including a national raw materials and project management platform and the planned opening of a specialized training school. He stressed that the focus is on choosing Nigeria first, improving transparency, and ensuring that raw materials are processed locally to support jobs, small and medium-scale enterprises, and economic emancipation. Also speaking, Professor Azikiwe Peter Onwalu, president of the African University of Science and Technology, said the reasons for establishing RMRDC are even more relevant today given global industrial competition. He described the 30% value addition policy as a potential game changer, but one that implementation remains Nigeria's biggest challenge. He called for stronger collaboration, better data, skills development and investment, saying successful value addition could position Nigeria's raw materials as a major contributor to national growth and future industrial empowerment. Moving on, the federal government has ordered the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control to suspend all enforcement actions linked to the proposed ban of sachet alcohol and small pet bottle alcoholic drinks. The directive issued today in Abuja also instructs the agency to stop sealing factories and warehouses. The order came from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation following a joint intervention with the Office of the National Security Advisor. Government officials say enforcement must pause until the national alcohol policy is fully implemented and a final directive is issued, despite the policy already being signed by the Ministry of Health. Authorities warn that continued enforcement without a harmonized framework is causing economic disruption, threatening jobs and supply chains, and raising security concerns nationwide. The government says consultations are ongoing and a final decision will be announced in the interest of public health, economic stability, and national security. The federal government has called on private sector players to partner with its close Nigeria's last-mile broadband gap as major public investment in digital infrastructure begin to take shape. Speaking with journalists today in Abuja, the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, said Nigeria is leading Africa in digital infrastructure spending, including a 90,000-kilometer fiber optic network, new communication satellites, and thousands of rural telecom towers. Dr. Tijani said these projects backed by the President are expected to significantly improve internet access within the next year, potentially connecting more than 20 million currently unserved Nigerians. He added that recent policy reforms, including modest tariff adjustments, have helped stabilize the telecommunications sector and attracted over $1 billion in new private investment. However, the minister stressed that infrastructure alone is not enough. He said the government now needs private sector collaboration to make internet access affordable, connect schools, hospitals, and security agencies, and expand digital skills. International partners at the event, including the World Bank, also highlighted electricity, broadband, and affordable devices as essential pillars for meaningful digital inclusion and economic growth. Moving further, the National Identity Management Commission says it will begin nationwide ward level enrollment for the National Identification Number on February 16th this year. The announcement was made today in a statement signed by the Commission's Head of Communications, Kayode Adegoke. NIMC says the exercise follows a presidential directive to take registration to the grassroots, allowing Nigerians and legal residents, including children and adults, to enroll within their communities at no cost. The Commission says the move is aimed at improving access, reducing travel burden, and strengthening identity inclusion and access to public services. The Commission says consultations and sensitization are already underway with state and local governments, traditional rulers, community leaders, market associations, and faith-based organizations. As of October 2025, 123.9 million Nigerians had been issued NINs, with a target of 180 million by the end of 2026. Nigeria's anti-trafficking agency NAPTIP has rescued and repatriated 23 Nigerian youths from Thailand after they were trafficked to Southeast Asia and forced into cyber-related fraud. The agency confirmed the operation today, saying the victims were taken to countries including Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia. NAPTIP said the youths were recruited with promises of jobs and scholarships, but were compelled to carry out online scams such as romance, cryptocurrency, and investment fraud. They were targeted for their computer and information technology skills and were closely monitored by criminal networks operating across borders. The Director General of NAPTIP, Binta Adamobello, said the case exposes a growing form of human trafficking focused on skilled young Nigerians. She added that international cooperation, including support from civil society groups, the British government, and Nigeria's embassy in Bangkok, made the rescue possible as investigations continue to dismantle the syndicate. We'll now take a quick break. The news continues when we return.
Continuous Threat Exposure Countermeasure, CTEM. CTEM tools enable organizations to continuously monitor and address vulnerabilities in real time. This proactive approach helps businesses stay ahead of cyber threats and comply with security standards. While CTEM systems are improving cybersecurity, managing them can be resource-intensive. Sectors like finance, healthcare, and government are adopting these tools to protect sensitive data.
Good to away from Africa, the United States President Donald Trump says he did not see a racist clip depicting former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes in a video shared on his Truth Social account. Speaking to reporters on Friday, Mr. Trump said he only watched the beginning of the video, which focused on claims of voter fraud in the 2020 election, and that a staff member posted it without his full review. The video was later removed. The clip, set to a song from The Lion King, sparked widespread outrage of echoing stereotypes. Several Republicans, including Senator Tim Scott, condemned the post, calling it offensive and unacceptable. The White House initially dismissed criticism as fake outrage, but later said the post had been shared in error by a staffer. Mr. Trump said the video was taken down as soon as the issue was discovered and denied wrongdoing, saying he would not apologize. Democrats and civil rights groups described the clip as racist and degrading, while the Obamas have not commented. The BBC has asked the White House to clarify how posts on the president's account are reviewed before publication. And now in health news, the World Health Organization says Africa has the widest gap in cataract care in the world, with 3 in 4 people who need surgery still untreated. The finding is contained in a new study published today in the Lancet Global Health, which analyzed data from 68 countries between 2023 and 2024. The report shows major inequalities in access to cataract surgery, with women consistently less likely than men to receive treatment. Cataract, which clouds the eye's lens and can lead to blindness, affects more than 94 million people globally, despite surgery being a simple, low-cost procedure that restores sight in about 15 minutes. The WHO says progress is too slow to meet global targets and blames shortages of eye care workers, high costs, long waiting times, and poor awareness. It is urging government to integrate eye care into primary health services. invest in surgical facilities, and prioritize women and underserved communities to end avoidable blindness. And now, in business news, Nigeria says it will begin a new round of public asset sales in 2026 as part of wider economic reforms. The Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, said today that the government is finalizing the list of assets, transaction structure, and timelines with plans to resell concession or partner with private investors to optimize state-owned enterprises. The move is being driven by President Bola Tinubu's reform agenda, which includes foreign exchange liberalization, fuel subsidy removal, and stronger revenue mobilization. Officials say these steps have improved investor confidence and are aimed at attracting private capital to support growth and stabilize public finances. Under the Public Enterprises Act, the Bureau of Public Enterprises has identified 91 federal assets that could be privatized or commercialized, spanning oil and gas, power, aviation, and agriculture. While specific assets and valuations have not been disclosed, authorities say details of the first offerings will be announced once internal reviews are completed. And now, finally, in sports, the Nigeria Football Federation has today dismissed reports suggesting Super Eagles head coach Eric CHELLE could leave his role, insisting he remains firmly in charge of the national team. The Federation says CHELLE is still under a valid one-year contract and continues to lead Nigeria's football project. Speaking today, NFF President Ibrahim Gusau said interest from other countries, including Tunisia and Angola, does not affect CHELLE's position. He stressed that the coach is committed to Nigeria and that the Federation is keen to avoid distractions after recent progress, including a third-place finish at the last Africa Cup of Nations. Mr. Gusau added that career fulfillment, not money, is the key issue, noting that CHELLE believes he can achieve his coaching ambitions with the Super Eagles. He said the matter has been discussed repeatedly with the coach, who remains confident in succeeding with Nigeria on the African stage. And that's all we have for you on Nigeria TV News Update. But before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. We brought to you news that RMRDC marks 38 years, pushes Nigeria First Value Addition Drive. We also brought to you news that federal government suspend enforcement of SACHET alcohol ban. And federal government seeks private sector support to close Nigeria's broadband gap. NIMC to begin nationwide world-level NIN enrollment, February 16th. NAPTIP rescues 23 Nigerians from cyber scam network in Thailand. And away from Africa, Trump denies seeing racist clip in video shared on social media. In health, WHO warns most Africans with cataract blindness remains untreated. And in business, Nigeria targets 2026 for a new round of public asset sales. Finally, in sports, NFF confirms Eric CHELLE staying on as Super Eagles coach. And now, do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Cynthia Basi. Thank you for your time.